Hello and welcome to another week PreAlgebra. This week we're going to be looking at how do you substitute and evaluate variables. And I want to go over three particular examples today. The first one, I'll go ahead and grab my notepad here so I don't forget my work, is x minus 5 plus y minus 3, where x is equal to 9 and y is equal to -2. Because here's the part that's about the evaluating and the substituting, is we're not just looking at expressions. And remember, an expression is any of these combinations of variables, operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and numbers without an equal sign. So it's not just that we're looking at expressions here like I have here, but I'm also now plugging in values for x and y and then combining our like terms, simplifying. And evaluate means to simplify with numbers. And so we're actually working through combining our numbers to get to a single answer. So that's what substitute means. When a substitute teacher walks into a room, that substitute teacher is replacing the original teacher. They're filling the same role, they're doing the same thing, but it's replacing one with another. And so here we're going to substitute x equals 9. So we're going to substitute the 9 in for x. And we're going to substitute the -2 in for y. So let's just rewrite with our expression first. So we have our x value, which is 9, substituted in, and then I'm rewriting everything else. Minus 5 plus. Now our y is -2 plus -2. Now ending that off with -3. So everything's the same about our expression, but the x we replaced with 9, we substituted in that 9, and for y we substituted in that -2. Everything else from here is just combining our like terms, working through that. And so, step by step, we'll just go left to right. 9 minus 5 first. So that 9 minus 5 we can write as 4. Now we're adding that -2. Adding by a negative is the same thing as subtraction. So I'm subtracting 2 and then subtracting 3. So ladies and gentlemen, what's 4 minus 2 minus 3? Well, that simplifies down to the same thing as the 4 minus 2 first, which is just 2, minus 3, which is -1. So we started with our expression, we plugged in our x and our y, then we just added and subtracted. And the reason why we added and subtracted was because those were our operations. Let's take a look at a second example here. Second example is xy minus 3 parenthesis 6 parenthesis, where x is equal to -7 and y is equal to -4. So first things first, what operations are here? If we don't know our operations, then it does not make sense what to do with our problem. Between x and y, here, let me go ahead and use purple. Purple's a great color. Between x and y, that is our multiplication. Between the 3 and the parentheses is multiplication. The parenthesis itself doesn't mean multiplication, it's the lack of a symbol. So the lack of a symbol between x and y and the lack of a symbol between 3 and the parenthesis both mean multiplication. And then of course we have our subtracting here between them. So we can plug in our x, we can plug in our y, and then follow our operations to know what our answer is going to be. So our -7 is going to be replaced with x here. Because of the fact that we want to represent that multiplication, but we're not using variables, when we plug in and substitute the numbers, I'm going to write parentheses here to be able to make that more clear. If I just write two numbers together, suddenly I have the number 74 rather than 7 times 4. And so replacing y, we're going to write in the -4. And then we're just going to finish off our expression here, -3 times 6. So we have -4 times -7 minus 3 times 6. So first things first, multiply -7 and -4 together. -7 times -4. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. Those are opposites. The opposite of a negative is a positive. And so that's going to be a positive 28. Minus 3 times 6, which is 18. Another way I could read that is -3 times 6. And a negative times a positive is a negative. And a -18 is the same thing as subtracting 18. So now we have 28 minus 18. And when we do that subtraction, our answer is 10. Let's take a look at one more example here. This example is x minus parenthesis 3a minus 4. Now, the key piece here with those parentheses is that everything inside the parentheses is being subtracted. And so, when I tell you that x is equal to 3 and a is equal to -2, we're still following all the same steps. We just want to do what's inside the parentheses before anything else. And so, let's go ahead and make our substitutions. Our value of x is 3. Our value of a is -2, so I can write those in. We have the 3 minus the 3 times -2. Once again, I'm putting the parentheses there to help emphasize that multiplication, minus 4. Now, order of operations, we're going to do what's inside the parentheses first because that's all being subtracted from 3. So first things first, 3 times -2, -6. That's still being subtracted by 4, all in parentheses with 3 minus that value. Next, -6 minus 4. Even though we're dealing with two negatives here, we're not multiplying those negatives together. We're not doing the opposite of -6. Instead, we're losing 6, then we're losing 4 more. So overall, we're doing 3 minus -10. We're losing 6, we're losing 4 more. We've lost 10 total. Now, with the parenthesis, we're looking at multiplication because there is no symbol. A negative times a negative is a positive, so it's 3 plus 10, which means our answer is 13. I hope that helped. I hope that made some sense. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. Take care.